This graph maps a $900,000 penalty. Both lines show $250 monthly investments, but the top starts at 18, reaching $1.5 million. Waiting until 28 leaves just $600,000. Those 10 years, like compound interest, force your balance upward exponentially. We are going to close that gap today by building a chronological personal wealth infrastructure. If you are older than 18, use this as a diagnostic checklist to see exactly where your current setup is missing pieces. To execute this plan, you need $20 or 20 pounds, a reliable pen, and if you're under 18, go get a parent or guardian. You possess an asset billionaires cannot buy back at any price: 4 decades of potential compounding. If you don't build a system to capture that time right now, that $900,000 gap becomes a permanent loss. Let's start with the first step at age 13. At 13 and 14, you face a legal barrier. You aren't old enough to buy stocks. To bypass this, you need a custodial account. In the US, this is a UGMA or UTMA. In the UK, it's a Junior Stocks and Shares ISA. Parents, I am speaking directly to you now. A custodial account is an investing account that you control for the benefit of your teenager until they come of age. This chart tracks the S&P 500, which has delivered a 10 to 12% historical average return over the long term. By setting up an automated deposit of $20 or 20 pounds every month, you are putting that historical growth to work for your child. You do not need to pick individual stocks. The S&P 500 is a basket of the 500 largest companies in America. When you buy this fund, you are buying a slice of the entire market's performance. To initiate the setup, go to a low-fee brokerage like Vanguard or Fidelity. The process typically takes less than 10 minutes. Executing this single administrative task today gives your teenager a mathematical advantage that most people do not attempt to build until they are in their 30s. Moving on to age 15, you need to pivot your cash generation strategy. Stop asking for physical birthday presents and ask strictly for cash. At the same time, secure a weekend retail or food service job to build your communication skills and learn to handle a professional environment. When that cash comes in, we have to fix a major teenage flaw. Most 15-year-olds save up for months just to blow it all on designer shoes. That is the jar on the left, delayed spending. You need to build the vault on the right, a stash. Your concrete target is to accumulate $300 to $500 and hold it. This stash acts as your launchpad. The hardest barrier to starting a business is having zero capital. By holding this cash in reserve, you ensure that when you find a viable side hustle, you already have the money to buy a domain name, run ads, or secure inventory. At age 16, it is time to deploy that stash. Look at the right side of this screen. You are avoiding consumer luxury items. Every dollar goes into production tools. A production tool allows you to start skill stacking. If you buy a used laptop and teach yourself video editing, you transition from a consumer into a producer. You can walk into a business and offer measurable value on day one, which brings us to age 17. Your mandate is to pursue your driver's license and purchase a cheap, reliable starter car, a used Toyota or Honda. In business, to be early is to be on time, and to be late is unacceptable. If you land a freelance client across town, relying on public transit makes you vulnerable to delays that sabotage your professional reputation. Combining a high-income skill with physical mobility removes the logistical friction between you and market opportunity. Your client base is no longer limited to your immediate neighborhood. Now for age 18, legal adulthood allows you to finalize a 4-part financial matrix. This is the exact flow your money needs to take. First, you open a checking account for daily cash flow. Next, you open a separate high-yield savings account. This node holds 3 to 6 months of emergency reserves and pays you 4 to 5% interest just for holding the balance. Node 3 is a baseline credit card. You are using this strictly to build a credit score, so banks will offer you lower interest rates on real estate later in life. Finally, Node 4. Open a tax-advantaged account, a Roth IRA in the US, or a Stocks and Shares ISA in the UK. We keep these physically separate because if you see your emergency stash right next to your spending money in the same app, you are more likely to spend it. To avoid credit card debt, route exactly one minor subscription to the card and lock the settings to auto-pay the full balance every month. You build credit without ever paying a penny in interest. These legal structures shield your investments from taxes, ensuring you keep the full profit when you withdraw at retirement. Compare this automated matrix with the common mistake of financing a depreciating luxury car at high interest. Drive a cheap car until your assets have grown enough to buy the luxury car for you. If you followed these steps, you now have a fully operational wealth infrastructure. You have an automated compound engine, a business stash, physical mobility, and a banking matrix building your credit in the background. Consistently feeding the system with $250 a month from age 18 leads to a $1.5 million retirement. This is the momentum of compound interest at work. Wealth is a formula, not a mystery. The result depends entirely on starting early and remaining strictly consistent with these steps. If you are under 18, hand this video to your parents now to execute step 1. If you are 18 or older, open your high-yield savings account today. The earlier you start, the less you have to work later.